All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who teach and move well. And peace and salutations to the Akim that's out there laboring, that's up the hopeful elect, that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. And I want to chime in on pretty much the podcast by Tucker Carlson. He's an individual that pretty much ran it into the apostles maybe about 8 or 9 years ago on 34th and 7th in New York City, and was pretty much inquiring pretty much of what it is that we preach, and pretty much the apostles went into it briefly with him, and letting him know his judgment as a people that he's pretty much spawned from, and this pretty much didn't sit well with him. And these Christians that get a whiff of this truth, is unpleasant to them, and they like to pretty much sweep this under the rug and pretty much follow Christianity as they know it. So on this particular episode of Tucker Carlson, he has this so-called scholarly man that pretty much went to seminary school, so-called priest, of a church up in Connecticut, and he's pretty much asking questions concerning the faith, but as we all know, these people are pretty much under the guise of Christianity, and until they come into the full knowledge of the truth, these people are going to be without at the end of the day. So pretty much now I'm going to play it at a particular point in this interview where Tucker asked him a specific question. Now, we know through the scriptures that we are to pretty much be ready to give an answer when we are asked a question. So here it is, a man, a so-called learned man of this world, okay? And he poses a question to this so-called priest. Pretty much at the end of the day, they are, these are false prophets at the end of the day, because here it is in 2025, we still have to argue the fact of what Yahushua even looks like when it's in the scriptures, and for us to be on a base level of even getting that type of understanding from the people, they cannot even, pretty much get off first base, so to speak, when you try to understand this truth. This truth is only given to certain men, and this is a precious thing to have. This is the true riches, that's going to be able to lead us to salvation at the end of the day, and people pretty much have a false sense of what this so-called ministry is, and people want to have things that are pleasant to their ears, and when you look at it, Christianity really at the end of the day is nothing but white supremacy. Okay, that's all it is. And you have these so-called people that follow under the guise of Christianity, okay, that are pretty much white supremacists, so to speak, man. Okay, all it is really Edomite supremacy, and it's just a so-called bunch of Edomites, and you have a certain sect of the Edomites, which is known as Amalek. Okay, the line from Amalek. They put the small hat on, and they pretty much do their bidding in the earth, and basically attempt to justify what it is that they do, okay, halfway around the world, But at any rate, though, we're gonna play this. I'm gonna play just a small clip of this, though, because a lot of this what this priest is speaking is madness at the end of the day, And I probably don't even want his madness to be spewed pretty much on this video, but you can pretty much see where this whole thing would be going. Okay, it's pretty much a road to nowhere. Okay, So without any event, let me play the video and then we're going to get some scriptures.
Can I hit you with some hard ones? Go for it. So there are all kinds of references all over the Bible from Genesis to Revelation about people being chosen by God. Well, the Jews being the chosen people being the most obvious, but it continues into, the very end of the Gospels and the end of John. Jesus is like, you all were chosen. What does that mean exactly? There are lots of people who weren't chosen. Jesus' enemies died with, according to Christianity, the sin of opposition to Jesus on them. Is there like an elect who are just like chosen to be followers of Jesus, and then the rest who just weren't chosen and won't be? That seems to be what they're saying in there.
Very difficult question. And equally committed followers of Christ disagree. In my last sermon...
Sorry to...
No, I'm not sorry. It's a great issue. In the last sermon I preached, I used an illustration from South Africa. In a very, very fine South African seminary, it was taught Afrikaners are the chosen people, which means they are superior to blacks, coloreds, and Indians.
And Brit.
Okay, so you see it right there, right? So now he's referring to Afrikaners, which really is in terms talking about South Africans, okay, which we know are Edomites, and they make up pretty much of the mostly from people descending from the Netherlands, pretty much Dutch-speaking countries in Europe, okay, and pretty much what he did was he said that he visited this school, and they were so-called Christians, okay. So we know it now through Christianity. They already pretty much are under the guise of white supremacy, and they themselves are calling themselves the chosen people. And the first thing to come out his mouth after that was the fact that he excluded the 12 tribes, okay, which go to the line of Jacob, okay. You see, all right. He said blacks, coloreds, and indigenous people. He pretty much excluded all of the 12 tribes. He was quick to say that. Okay? So you know that pretty much now what's going on in the earth right now is a process of elimination. Okay? The consensus is happening that pretty much the people that's over there now in that land, people are coming to the conclusion of them not being the people, man. Okay? You see? Now they're trying to seek and figure out, well, who is? And people are coming up with their own thought process concerning this matter, And this is how we know that these people are not learned in the scriptures, man, because the scriptures say it. And Tucker had his chance, man. Tucker was in the presence of the real, true prophets, man. Okay? He had his chance to pretty much get the understanding, okay, of what it is that we preach, man. Okay? The full understanding. Okay, because if he had the full understanding, though, he wouldn't have any type of individual like this on, man. Okay, you see, all right, he would be wanting to at least on his own time dig deeper into research things, man. Okay, you have to be fully persuaded in your own mind, man. And it's pretty much, man, and this is only for the elect, man. It's really for the Lord's people, man, which is unique on Latinos and Native Americans, man, and anybody throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay, that's scattered among these other nations, okay, that may speak the languages of these other nations, okay, but their stock goes back to the line of Jacob, okay, the scriptures speak about, okay, the Most High Yahweh, okay, all right, that's the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob, man, okay, that's their gods, man, okay, and people understand that the land, okay, that Jacob was named after, okay, Israel, okay, which is basically interchangeable, is really a people before a place, man. Okay, you see, and this is what people are pretty much not grasping of who the chosen people are. You see, okay, they're definitely gonna pretty much disregard what the true prophets are saying. You see. But everybody's trying to pretty much pigeonhole themselves into this truth, man, or this ministry, man. Okay, you see, and we had this pretty much throughout the scriptures, man. Okay, because Christianity at the end of the day is pretty much a passed down belief, amongst these people, man, of lies. You see, okay, and pretty much, the Lord pretty much addressed this, man, when he was on the scene. So let's get that real quick. It's locked here. Let's go to John chapter 4, verse 22. Ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. And this is what Yahushua said to the woman, okay? All right, because she said that our fathers had worshipped the Father, the Heavenly Father in this mountain, okay? And pretty much he told her, man, women, believe me, at this time, or any time, that you would not be worshiping the Father. Roughly paraphrasing. Okay, and he said the phrase he told her, you know not what you worship. Okay, and he told her who the salvation is for. And it says, but the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeks such to worship him. Okay? All right? And pretty much, man, we are the ones that are out there, okay, are worshiping the Father in spirit and in truth, man. Okay? All right? He goes on to say that, they understand that this truth, this word has been passed to the Hebrew prophets. Okay? And the prophets, what their job was to pretty much have the people repent. Their own people repent, man, before the Lord brought judgment upon them, man. Okay, this is an ongoing dilemma with the children of Israel, man. Okay, a stiff-necked and rebellious people, man. Okay, throughout the scriptures, the prophets. Okay, but they were rejected of the prophets, man. Okay, and when you come to this time now, in these last days, man. Okay, the men have been toiling and laboring, man. Okay, to pretty much bring the elect in. You see? Now, you cannot get past anything else that they're saying until the prophecy of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, comes to pass, man. Okay? Because that's pretty much what the essential thing is that we do, man. Okay? All right, as far as us bringing in Judah and his companions and bringing in Ephraim and his companions, man. Okay? And bringing the 12 tribes together. And the Lord said, I will put them as one stick in my hand. And this is the reason why we have that sign out there, man. The 12 tribes sign. Okay? And pretty much name of the tribes. And the scriptures speak about that prophecy coming to pass, where people would go by and ask, what do you mean by this? Okay? You see? So, these people pretty much are pretty much lost and pretty much don't regard the men that are out there, man. So Tucker, he pretty much looked over the true prophets of the Lord, man. You see? And we told them his judgment, man. Okay? All right? We told them of the atrocities that have been done to the people, the children of Israel, man. There's a recompense for that, man. Okay? But these people pretty much don't understand that, man. Okay? Verse 24. The Most High is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. And that's the truth. Okay? You have to worship the Lord in spirit and in truth, man. You can't sit here and argue about what he looked like and say it doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying? Okay? Because now that you understand that what is as written and what the images that's put up don't add up, you have to ask yourself, what else is a lie? You see? And when it comes to the so-called Christian, okay, they don't agree on anything that we pretty much preach, man. Okay? Because we know that everything that they've been taught is lies, man. And everything is new to them, and everything that they said pretty much, doesn't add up. We need receipts on what it is that you stand on. Okay, we have the receipts of what we stand on, and that's the Holy Scriptures, man. You see? All right? All right, from there, let's go to, let's go to Romans. Okay? All right? And this man speaking about, that's a tough question. It's not a tough question. Okay? This is how you know, okay, that these people are pretty much are not learned, man. All right? But real quick, I want to go to Romans 9, Okay? I want to hit these points real quick. Let's start at pretty much Romans 9 and 11, you know? And pretty much we're going to pretty much go to where the promise goes to Jacob at the end of the day. Okay? And this was ordained by Yahweh. Okay? And it says, Romans 9 and the verse 11. For the children not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High according to election might stand, not according to works, but of him that calleth. So why didn't he pull this scripture out? Okay? And this is in the New Testament. Okay? All right? So the Lord does have an elect, and he has a chosen. Okay? Right? And it says, it was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. Okay? Now we're speaking about Jacob and Esau, man. Okay? Because that's what it goes back to at the end of the day. All right? Okay? And pretty much Rebecca and pretty much what was said to her. Okay? And it says, as it is written, as in the Old Testament, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Right? Okay? That's a statement that the Most High said. Now, if you want to ask the question, what shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? The Most High forbid, man. Okay, there's not unrighteousness with the Most High, man. Everybody has their lot in this, on the face of the earth, man, and they're playing their part. You see? Okay, you got people that gotta get judged as a people, and they get pretty much judged as an individual, man. Okay, you see? So the Lord has hatred for the Edomites, man, and the biblical Edomites are still standing to this day, and this is what the apostles have told Tucker 9 years ago, man. Okay, they told him this, man. And the question was with him was that, why am I going to slavery? Okay, you're going to be into servitude, man. Okay, all right. It's always when you have a kingdom or it's always in hierarchy, man. Okay, there's levels to this thing, man. Okay, in every society that you look at, man. Okay, to keep the place running, just like how the children of Israel served in Egypt, man. And here you have here in Babylon, the children of Israel serving in Babylon, man. Right? Okay. Which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, man. Okay? Laboring and keeping this place running, man. The tribes is what keeps this place running. The tribes are pretty much on the bottom, okay? Serving as slaves, so to speak, man. Just keeping this place afloat, man. Okay? All right? Without the tribes, man, this place cannot function, man. You see? Okay? And the same thing with ancient Egypt, man. Okay, this is why Pharaoh refused to let our people go, man. You see? All right? But it says, right? God forbid that there's any unrighteousness with what he said, man. Okay? Right? It says, for he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it's not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of him that showeth mercy. Right? For the scripture say unto Pharaoh, even of the same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that has name might be, and that my name might be declared throughout the earth, all the earth. Okay, so just like how the Lord has raised up Pharaoh, okay, as a powerful ruler of Egypt, okay, he's raising up the king of Babylon to that same type of status, or even much greater. Okay, but to only see the fall of him, man. Okay, and why would be the fall of him? Is because that was his lot. Okay, because of what his doings were, man. Okay, things ill-gotten gain, man. Injuries, to the people, man. The scriptures speak about that in the Apocrypha, man. How a kingdom is translated from one people to another, man, because of things that are pretty much, well, I should get it, but I'm just gonna paraphrase it. Injuries and riches got by deceit. Roughly paraphrasing, man. You see, okay, and it says, therefore, right, have he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he hardened, he will harden. And didn't he have mercy on the children of Israel and harden Pharaoh's heart? Okay? And this is the same thing that pretty much we're going through this day, man. Okay? You see? And it says, thou wilt say unto to me, who did ye yet find fault? For who have resisted his will? Okay? And this man tried to say that priest that Tucker Carlson had on pretty much said that, men have free will. And men don't have free will, man. Okay? The Lord seals men's instructions every facet of their life, man. Okay? All right? And their instructions are sealed when a man is fallen upon deep sleep, man. Okay? That's in the book of Job. Okay? You see? But it says, right? Who will resist his will of making you thus, right? Nay, but, O man, who art thou that repliest against the Most High? Shall the thing that formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? Have not the potter power over the clay, of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? So just like a potter would make a vessel unto honor, he made another same pot unto dishonor, man. Okay? The Yahweh has fashioned things in the earth the way that he see fit, man. Okay? And everybody has to play their part. Okay? All right? One is supposed to play the antagonist, and the other one is supposed to play pretty much opposite of the antagonist would be pretty much the oppressed at the end of the day. The good guy. You see? Okay? All right? But it says, what if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endure with much suffering the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction, man? And that's the Edomites, man. Okay? All right? Your vessels of wrath fitted for destruction, man. Okay? And it's because of your deeds in the earth, man. Okay? There's a recompense for that, man. Okay? You were getting a certain power for a certain dispensation of time. Okay? And now, pretty much the hourglass has run out, man. Okay? And pretty much you're on trial now. And judgment is coming. Okay? You see? But it says, right? And that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto glory. And that's pretty much the children of Israel, man. Okay? Because when you read up in this chapter, it tells you who this was pertaining to, man. Okay? Who Paul was speaking about, man. Okay? All right? According to the flesh. Okay? You see? But it says, even us whom we have called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. And that's pretty much the Israelite foreigners, man. Okay? We have to go into the Apocrypha, which they took out, the history, to pretty much link the New Testament and the Old Testament. So Esau pretty much knew what he was doing when he omitted the Apocrypha, man. Because the Apocrypha goes into the history, which is about approximately 400 years that are missing between the Old Testament of Malachi and then when you go into the book of Matthew, man. Okay? All right, here it is where all of a sudden now in the New Testament, all right, we left the Old Testament pretty much under the rule of the Medes. Okay? And now fast forward now, we're under the rule of the Romans, but we speak in Greek. And we have adapted Greek customs. So what happened? Okay, Hellenization is what happened. And this is what people do not understand. These people that follow Christianity wholeheartedly around the world don't understand the effects of Hellenization, man. And Hellenization is what pretty much broke us off from our culture, man. Because if we practice our culture within that Greek society, it was equal death. You see? Okay? So pretty much, man, we were pretty much discontinued for our heritage, man. And that was prophesied, man. Okay? Right? And it says, and it shall come to pass that in the place where it said unto them, ye are not my people, there ye shall be called the children of the living power, man. And right now, we still in the time of when people are saying that we are not the people, man. Okay? As much as we tell them we are, okay, they're quick to dismiss us, man. Okay? The Lord always deals with the underdog. Remember that. Okay? You see? The downtrodden, the meek. Okay? You see? All right? And pretty much, man, the Lord has been long suffering in what's been happening to his people, man. Okay? You see? But in the place we're going to be delivered, where we were said that we are not his people, where the Lord turned his back on us, okay, stripped us of our heritage, and we've been called all of these false pseudo names under the sun, okay, we're referred to as a color, okay. A color is not a nationality, okay. All right, it's a no frills social construct, man. Okay, put upon the people, man. All right. So pretty much, in the same place, man, where we were shamed, the byword and proverb, we're going to be called the children of the living power, man. Okay? Because they're going to see the strangeness of our salvation, man. And you wholeheartedly have to have faith, man, to believe that, man. You see? All right? And not all men have faith. Even people that consider themselves Christians, man. And the time is going to reveal itself, man, in that time, man. Because people don't have a foundation, okay, to set their 10 toes down upon, man. Okay? All right, we have it. We have the chief cornerstone, man. Okay? You see? That's Yahweh Shai. All right? All right, from there, let's go to 1 Corinthians. All right? Because like I said, though, the truth is going to be revealed, man. Okay? First Corinthians, let's start at 17. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 17. For Hamashiach sent me not to baptize, but to preach the gospel, not with wisdom of words, lest the cross of Hamashiach should be made now in effect. Okay, so not the wisdom of this world, man. Okay, not just words. And this man, okay, pretty much, I watched the whole podcast, and he did not go into the scriptures not one time. Okay, he's speaking of his own heart. Okay, you see? All right, we come with receipts, man. Okay, all right. So Paul pretty much, okay, was to preach the gospel. Okay, all right, in the spirit and in truth, right? For the preaching of the cross is to them that preach foolishness, but unto us which are saved is the power of the Most High. So people look at us as fools for doing what we do, man. Okay, but we know it's pretty much the blueprint unto salvation. You see? Okay, right? Here's the point. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. And that's what that man was considered, man. He's considered in this world a wise man and a prudent man, okay, because of the accolades and the accomplishments that he have made of the wisdom of this world concerning the Christianity, so to speak, Catholicism, okay? This is what they follow, man, okay? And we already know that this thing was watered down and whitewashed, man, okay? And packaged and given to the world, man, okay? And people don't know what that, and this is why they're lost. This is why, like I said, and then not one speaking of any type of the prophecies, man. Okay, let's get back to this right here. Okay, there was no speaking of any prophecies that were coming to pass, man. Okay, you see? All right, and they passed the law now that churches can now accept political candidates within their churches, so to speak. So now they're pretty much trying to say that you can merge church and state. But the pastors pretty much are unlearned. Okay? And usually Tucker is usually on the forefront of any geopolitical type of thing that's information, current events and what have you. And how do you not have a learned man on there and not once speak about prophecy, man? What's going on in the earth, man? Okay? Things that are going on around you. Okay? It's all in the scriptures, man. But there was not one talk about that, man. You see? Okay? There's not one talk about that. All right? So it says, right? Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputers of this world? Have not God made the foolish the wisdom of this world? And that's what the Lord did. The Lord looked at the, men that are in sackcloth, man. Okay? All right? That's the true wisdom of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You see? That's the real riches. Right? Those are the disputers of the world, man. Those are the wise. You see? Okay? For after that, in the wisdom of the Most High, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High. All right? And they don't know the Lord, man. Okay? All right? People under the guise of Christianity do not know the Lord, man. Okay? Right? Right? It says, it pleased the Most High by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe, man. And this is a great faith thing to go out there in the highways and hedges, man. Okay? And pretty much be a spectacle, man, in front of the world. Okay? It takes great faith to do that, man. Okay? But it's an easy thing, man. When you instill with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh B'Shem Abishai, man, and understand, okay, what it is, man, what his determination is, man. Okay? You see? You know, he even asked the question of, oh, why is the Old Testament so violent? Oh, that's the Lord Yahweh, okay? Pretty much shaping the world to see the way that he fashioned it, man. Okay? All right? And things had to be taken out the way, man, to appease him, man. Okay? You see? It says, right? The foolishness of preaching to save them that believe, right? For the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom. And that's our people, man. Okay? You got our people in all types of philosophy, okay? And they look at different things, and they go by their own wisdom, man. They go by wisdom of the world, man, and try to so-called break things down of how things are, man. Okay? All right? And a lot of them reject the scriptures. You see? Right? But we preach Hamashiach crucified, unto Jews a stumbling block, and to the Greeks foolishness, man. Okay? And this is talking about the Israelite foreigners, man. Okay? You see? Because it's specifically saying Greeks. It's not, and people think that's all inclusive with everybody, man. No, we were speaking Greek. We were Greek speaking Jews, man, under the guise of Hellenization, man. Okay? When the Greeks took over, man. All right? All of that history was omitted from the scriptures, man. Okay? You see? And it says, but unto them which are called both Jews and Greeks, Israelites, Hamashiach, the power of the Most High, and the wisdom of the Most High. Because the foolishness of the Most High is wiser than men, and the weakness of the Most High is stronger than men. Okay? So we look foolish and then we look weak. But it's stronger than men. Okay? Spiritually stronger. Okay? Mentally stronger. Okay? We got a solid rock solid foundation, man, that we stand upon, man. Okay? Where everybody else is building their foundation upon sand, okay? That will topple over, man. Okay? Because they're not fully equipped with the full armor, man. All right? And the things that are coming upon the earth is going to reveal that, man. All right? All right? But it says, for we see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, but many noble are called. So you consider the wisdom in this world, men that are so-called learned in Catholicism, went to these seminary schools and have all of these accolades and people follow them in these ministries. Okay? The Lord didn't call them, man. Okay? All right? They're going by some type of doctrinated curriculum, okay, that was pretty much spoon-fed to them. And it really boils down to Edomite supremacy, man. Okay? You see? Right? But the Most High had chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And God had chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things that are mighty. And that's what it is, man. Okay? This is almost like a David versus Goliath type of situation that we have here, man. Okay? The Lord was always rooting for the underdog, man. Okay? Right? And the base things of the world, things that which are despised. And aren't we despised in the world? Aren't we considered the base of this world? Aren't we the most talked about? Okay? Everything that this place suffers, man, always somehow, some way leads back to you tribes, man. Okay? One way or the other, man. Okay? You're the cause of everything in the earth that's going left, so to speak, man. Okay? This is what they plan on doing. All right? Okay? Because the first thing that came out that damn devil's mouth was, oh, not the blacks or the coloreds, you know, or the indigenous people, He was quick to say that. So meaning that he may know something. He may know, okay? And they might have spoke off camera. He might have told them about the encounter with the apostles, man. Okay? You see? Because I know that has to stick starkly in his head every day, man. Okay? You see? And now, if he were to even try to even make a trek down there, he wouldn't even find him down there, man. Okay? Here it is, man. This man is all the way up in the woods somewhere in Maine. Anyway, you know? Okay? But when you think about Tucker Carlson, he is I give it to him. He's an excellent journalist. Okay? He seeks truth. And this is the reason why he was fired from Fox. So this man is far from any type of controlled opposition, because he brings on a lot of whistleblowers on his show. And you cannot do nothing for the truth, against the truth, but for the truth, you know? And it just exposing all the corruption of this place, man. Okay? And he has it on his platforms. And he's pretty much I would consider him a innocent inquiring mind, so to speak. Okay? Where he's trying to grasp things that are going on, and he's trying to grasp it. Okay? And pretty much I don't think his questions were fully answered with this priest according to his spirit. I don't think he was fully satisfied with a lot of the answers. And this may not be a last time where he may have some scholarly man on there and ask questions, man. Okay? Because almost on every podcast, he makes some type of mention of him being a Christian, man. Okay? So he really wholeheartedly believes in the guise of Christianity, man. Okay? But he's just trying to figure things out and doesn't understand. But he had the chance to meet the prophets, the real true prophets, man, of the Lord. Okay? All right? And it has to come to his mind. It has to. You see? Okay? Right? But it says, right? In the base things of the world, things that are despised, have God chosen. Okay? God has chosen the base things of this world, the things that are despised. Okay? You see? All right? Yea, things which are not, to bring to naught the things that are. And that's what's happening right now. All right? So now the consensus around the world, and you're seeing it on mainstream media now, okay, is that they're coming to the consensus of the people there in the land are not the people, man. Okay? So now they're trying to scramble and try to, well, who is then? Okay? And pretty much, man, the truth is going to be revealed on a large scale, man. You know? Okay? That time is coming. You see? All right? But pretty much I'm going to end it there. And hey, man, okay? Was knowing in these times that's coming, man, people are pretty much turning into these theologian, scholarly people, man, trying to find answers, man. And they're going to quickly find out, man, that these people are false prophets, man. Okay? You see? All right? And it's one thing that they all lacked is the spirit of prophecy, man. Even a lot of these Israelite camps lack the spirit of prophecy, man. Okay? Because they're not the chosen, man. They're not the elect, so to speak, man. The scriptures do say that all Israel shall be saved, man, but they have to go through that second death, man. A lot of our Israelites gotta have to go through that second death, man, to pretty much be accepted after, okay, into the kingdom, But pretty much, hey, more and more is being revealed, man. There's a lot of more platforms that are out there, these podcasters that are actually posing questions, man. Okay, you see? And pretty much, man, we're going to continue to labor and do our thing, man. Okay? And continue to bring this truth out, man. Okay? Okay? Right? The Lord said he's going to make his praise in the earth at the end of the day, man. All right? So, with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rokakodash. Shalom.